Leaders of the world unite. It's time to war, to fight the fight against the puppet masters pulling strings. We'll strip away the power, hear our piercing screams. Yeah, we won't be silenced anymore. We break free from the chains that they adore. Stand tall, unrigging the game we rise. We'll bring reality from their lies. Unrig the game, unleash the fury.
Say his name and he appears.
This is a friendship that'll never ever end.
Greetings and welcome to Unrig the Game. How's everybody doing this evening? Hope you're all doing and living well. Let me thank all those reoccurring members out there on YouTube. Right there, part of the winner circle. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys supporting the channel. And also to Shelly and Wolfram, who support the channel over on Rumble. And of course, we are broadcasting live on YouTube, Rumble, and X as always. And in case you didn't know, or it's your first time here, this is the kickoff show. The kickoff show. We talk here on YouTube, Rumble, and X for about, anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. Depends on topics, what we're getting into. And then we go exclusively to Rumble and X for the readings. And those links will be pinned in the chat and in the description. So you can follow us over for the main portion of our show. And man, is this book going great. I couldn't be more happier about the content in this book. We're learning so much. Tonight, we're going to be covering chapters 7 through 9 of part 1, Wild Bill Donovan, the Bolsheviks, and J. Edgar Hoover. And the first 3 chapters have been phenomenal. Did I get that right? Okay, yeah, we have it right. We're up to that point, right? Or am I skipping ahead? Hold on, did I just totally mess this up? Let me see. Yeah, we're on chapter 7 because we've done, because chapters 1 through 3 was my beginning, and then chapters 4, 5, and 6 we did last week. Tonight, 7, 8, and 9. That's what we're doing. But let me go ahead and say hello to this awesome based crowd of mine. How's it going, everybody? Look, there's Shelly in the house talking trash and truth. She's the hostess with the most. She greets you as you're coming in with big hugs. There you go. Hello, Shelly. How you doing? Wolfram, the mod with the most. How you doing, my friend? Thank you for dropping these links. And remember, guys, when you're here, always listen to the wolf. He knows what he's talking about. All right. And he wipes his paws, lips in the house, and he is here. And my 2 favorite people are here and ready to roll with us tonight, and more will be rolling in as we get going here. Again, I can't tell you how much this book is, how great this book is, and I hope you guys will enjoy it with me as we go through all of the chapters together. And by the way, if you're not up to on the chapters so far, I have a playlist that exists exclusively on Rumble because that's where we do the reading. And over there, you can find the playlist and catch up. And you could also find that playlist link in the description below here on YouTube. So, even if you are joining us tonight, listen with us tonight, and then you can go back and check out the first couple chapters. Like I said, the kickoff show usually lasts about, anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour. And then we go exclusively over there. So if you want to skip the kickoff show, which we have some good stuff on the kickoff show. So, you might want to check that out as well. If you just want to read the book, skip ahead and just catch the content of the book. It really is important. I would think this information is so critical. Background information. This book is about how the CIA and the FBI went from Cold War heroes to deep state villains. And we are getting the background on all this right now. And we're also deep into the history of cultural Marxism and its infiltration around the world and into our society. Something we have to recognize as a root cause issue, and something we have to start planning solutions, root cause solutions for. And one of those root cause solutions identify is we have to take critical theory out of our education system, and we have to disincentivize people from wanting to participate in such activities here in America by not allowing them the access they want to our children, because they always go after the youngest generation first. Did I do this right? Let me put this back real quick. I feel like I let's just get rid of that quote right there. That should be fine. All right. And put this back up. Kickoff shows on. Who else is rolling in here? Let's go. We got people over on Rumble and X. And how you guys doing over there on those great channels, those free speech platforms? Don't you worry. We're going to be coming there exclusively in just a little bit. Do start the reading of our book, and I hope you guys will stick around. And remember to please consider following, and it helps us grow on these free speech platforms so much. Like, share, let people know about it. Base content coming your way always. We keep it straight, we keep it based in reality. We do not jump the shark around here. We take our times, we walk it in. And speaking of which, we're going to talk about things on the kickoff show here tonight pertaining to such. So what do you guys want to talk about out there? I'm always up for it. So think about it as I do this.
It's cold up there in Vietnam. It has to do. I can't imagine a more beautiful thing. It's cold. I can tell you all about it. I mean, look at this thing. From its wider the title amazing thing.
Talking Trash and Truths, thank you so much for gifting 5 Winning Reality memberships. You rock. Thank you so much. Who got these tonight? Who are our lucky people who got a free membership to the winner circle? Kelly, Arby, Jason Alatori, $5 sucky. Who is that? And Valhalla awaits. Long lost Valhalla awaits. Where are you, my Viking friend? Come on back and say hello, and make sure you guys thank Shelly. Hey, there's Nafel. Nafel, what's up? How you doing? Welcome to the show. The real David Adams over there on Rumble. How you doing, David? Nice to see you, my friend. Welcome to the show, guys. Welcome to the show. All right. Elephant's rolling in here. All kinds of people rolling in here. There's T-Rex trucking in more. I didn't forget you. There he is. All kinds of awesome people in the house. And remember, you can always subscribe to T-Rex Trucking and check out his new 360 camera on his truck. You can actually steer it around. It's kind of neat. You can steer it around and look any way you want to, except for into the cab, of course. But you can get a great view of America and the American road as this great trucking hero of ours is out there making sure that the supply chain is rolling in these days. We know how important that supply chain is, and he helps us so much with that. Thank you, T-Rex Trucking, for your service to our country. All right. Hi, there's Heidi. Heidi, how you doing? Heidi, we never did get to talk about your Facebook experience there. We're posting the show links in Facebook. Did anything come about from that? Did you get that worked out? Can you steer the truck? Can you steer a T-Rex truck? I don't think you can do that, but you can definitely look around forward, backward, sideways, and all that stuff. It's really neat. He's doing a lot to make that happen, and it's a great ride if you enjoy it. T-Rex and I have done a show together called 18-Wheeler Across America. We haven't done it in a very long time. We have to do a pop-up stream of that where I'm the road manager, and he's the driver, and we go through all the places on the map as he's driving, and we talk about them. Like, we'll talk about each little place he goes through, the cities. We cross state lines. We play the state song. And there's some opportunities to get him to do certain things. But it's been a long time since we've done that. It's been a while. I mean, I have to do the 2-cam thing. I don't know how we do it. We'll have to talk about it. We hang out off stream, so I'll have to talk with T-Rex about it, see if we can get one of those shows back up and running. What's on everybody's mind tonight? I got some stuff just to kind of like go over that I've grabbed, things I haven't been able to put out on other shows. And just a reminder that after we read tonight, after we get through our chapters tonight, these enjoyable chapters, we do about a 10-minute segment of Big Intel, an interview with J. Michael Waller by the National Association of Scholars. And that's a really cool interview too. So you do get some bonus content after we get done reading, and where you get to hear from the author himself, talk about it, and that's going really well. I'm enjoying that interview as well. I mean, this whole book and interview is just amazing. And I did start following Jay Michael Waller over on X, and it'd be really maybe he'll check in and see that I am that I am that I'm doing his book, and maybe he'll want to come on for an interview. I'd love to get some of these guys on that we've covered their books for an interview on this show. Like Seamus Bruner, Control Oligarchs, our very first book. Great book. Playlist is over on Rumble. Check it out, man. You get the whole background on the globalists and the people behind Agenda 2030 and the Great Reset, and all these people, where they came from, how they formed to get this group together. The WEF, especially, is highlighted in this book. And the Control Oligarchs is an amazing backstory on all this stuff, and then up to current, right? So what they're up to now. And I think Seamus has done the very best job at this, describing this. Another one, Vivek Ramaswamy's Woke Inc. It's an older book of his. I do have his new book, Truths, which I think we'll listen to at a later date, but it just came out. So I want to give him time to sell the books and get them out there. Even though I bought it myself, I still want the other people to get the paper in their hands and read it themselves. So we'll wait on that one. But J. Michael Waller, Big Intel, I'd love to have him on the show. It'd be so much fun to talk to him. Let me see. Love these storms. Yeah, there's another storm coming. Milton hurricane. It's going laterally. I might say, yeah, but I'm saying that right, laterally, left to right. It's going to left to right, and it's an interesting hurricane. We haven't seen one of these in a long time, but it is her. I just want to remind everybody, it is hurricane season, and as I predicted with Helena, before it even got out of the Gulf, before it was, when it was way down there, that two things always happen like clockwork when there's a hurricane during hurricane season. Those people that believe in religiously believe in climate change and global warming, and they've been doing this for 10 years, will come out and call it climate change. And those people that are have yet to understand the conspiracy groups surrounding weather weapons and all that stuff will say they're weather weapons. I mean, it's so predictable. It's as predictable as hurricanes this time of year. But yeah, the important thing is like, hey, Andre Dite, how you doing? Andre Dite, the important thing is that you stay safe. You stay safe and you get ready if you're in Central Florida. And Milton is a very interesting one because it's like I said, it's heading left to right, and it's picking up speed quickly, and it's gonna kind of blow through Florida and then and go out to sea. So that's what it's looking at right now. Of course, this is nature, and nature can make its own mind up about what it wants to do, because it's the almighty powerful thing on this earth, in a natural three-dimensional way. Mother Nature rules the roost. Rules the roost. And speaking of which, we're still getting over the Helena stuff right now. And I do have some stuff that's coming out about FEMA themselves. Now, back in the day, Katrina hit back in the day. This is like early awakening days for myself, and on and on. But another big moment of clarity about how the government isn't working for the people was the FEMA response back in that time. It seemed underwhelming, and I don't know the ins and outs of workings of FEMA myself personally, but we do seem to expect more from our tax dollars. And one thing we don't want is our money going overseas and to illegal invaders coming into our country, but not going to the American people when we need it. It's supposed to be here for us when we need it. And these moments like this can wake up the deepest deepest sleepers out there, and that are under the establishment narrative mind control, that are in the first veil. You'll be surprised how mass traumatic events wake people up. That's one of the things. You don't like these things to happen, but it's one of the things that actually does shock people out of their slumber. Right? They start, well, hold on a second, they're supposed to be here. What kindly old Joe Biden administration isn't jumping on this to help the people out that they say they stand for? What the hell's going on? This shocked people out of their slumber. So the more you talk about the lack of FEMA response and we give everybody $750, right? Like, that's a lot of money for someone who's lost everything. right? 200 plus deceased as a result of this natural disaster. It just is what it is. We were having an interesting conversation about how people who buy into the weather weapon stuff. We were talking about, well, if we actually could do this stuff, why aren't we doing it against, like, Iran and Russia and other places, and China and other places that are our enemies? Why aren't we just launching hurricane after hurricane and tornado and everything else at them all the time, right? It seems that only when it's like Gulf Coasty that people come out and believe that all this stuff's happening. Of course, I have a playlist out there. It is called Deprogramming the HARP Conspiracy Grift Forever, right? I have the Deprogramming Grifts Forever series where I break it down. Even if you do want to believe in that, I say listen to it and make up your own mind. But I lay out the argument very greatly that that at least those takes aren't good, aren't real, and buying into them will only lead you to a discredited spot. Let's see if I could find where I put it. I did have it out recently. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Okay, I got it, guys. Don't worry about it. I know my mods are probably scrambling to put it up, but I'm going to put it out for you guys. So here we go. Here we go. There it is. Okay. And I'm telling you, if you watch this, you'll become educated on how jet engines work, how the weather works, all the questions that people that are involved in the grifts won't look at. And so I hope you guys, if you are questioning how these things come about, you will take a look at this and at least not be taken in by the whole someone's behind this hurricane kind of nonsense. And at the same time, I don't feel like I even have to degrift the climate change, climate hoaxer, global warming angle, right? We all know that that's just a way for them to further their agenda 2030, gain control of resources, make you pay carbon taxes, and so on and so forth. And have to buy electric cars and turn your air conditionings off in the middle of summer and all this other crap that they want you to do. They just want to control your life. We know that part. So anyways, that's what I do, and that's what's out there. So I hope you guys will take a look at that if you have any questions. And I do include all the supporting source material underneath my own stream in that playlist. Yeah, I'd have to see. I mean, laser weapons on ships. I think we've seen that they tried to use that. They're not very successful. I would say, we have people in the military that are in the chat here that could probably speak to that better than me. Are they actively using lasers? I mean, what do lasers do, right? So we have to talk about what kind of lasers, where they use them. So, where are they using it? Well, then if they do, then show me what you got. I'll look at anything. I will. I got an open mind. I'll look at it. So send me the links, send me the articles, send me whatever you want to put your case out there for laser weapons. And again, I would ask, why aren't we using them in like other situations? Where are we using them? What do you know? So yeah, you can totally bring anything to me. I'll look at it. Do I think they use lasers to steer hurricanes and create natural disasters? No, I don't know that there's any evidence for that. And I don't know that lasers actually do anything like that. So I mean, like, if there is something like that, maybe I'll dig in and go down the rabbit hole, and I'll look for things, and I'll do a long-term kind of look at it, and I can do an unveiling reality special about it, where I talk about laser weapons, and you can fuel that, Ellie, if you have things for me to look at and no more than just saying, me, I'm not just gonna say, well, they use laser weapon. I can't just say that. I need to understand what these weapons are, how they're being used, where they're mounted, what branches of the military would be using them, and then go from there. Because I'm gonna take the based approach, and I'm never ever going to but I'm open-minded. I'll totally look into it. Let's see. Didn't the Saudi floods flood one of their cities from cloud seeding? Yeah, that was in Dubai, right? Dubai, and that's where that's cloud seeding is geoengineering. That's separate from weather weapons and things like that. They're actually doing that to try to bring moisture to a dry place. I think that's an angle. I think that's something people can protest against. And hey, Zach, how you doing? I think that's something people can speak out against. And I think that you should confine it to that exact thing. Like I even say that in my debunking the chemtrail conspiracy grift forever. I say that you have to separate geoengineering from these other things, because when you go too far, when you jump the shark with chemtrailing, when we can prove that that's not what it is, for anybody who's based enough to sit down and just like really dig into it with an open mind and say, okay, well, I'm going to challenge what these people are saying. I'm going to challenge my own belief here, and I'm going to try to go through and understand how weather works, how jet engines work, and what I'm seeing, right? Instead of just going, well, I see it, so it must be true. That's how they get you. That's how they get you. And but I totally agree, and that's why I recommend in that stream that I did. I recommend that if you're concerned about geoengineering, then focus on the cloud seeding. Make sure it doesn't come here to the U.S. It's technically illegal in the U.S. You have to get some kind of permit, or it's technically illegal to do it on your own. Like you have to have some kind of like special permit to do it. It's not an active process going on. It's not an active process that our government's involved in. It's actually private companies that do it. And I do show a video of cloud seeding in that playlist, and in my stream, I do go over that. So I do recognize that geoengineering and cloud seeding is real. But what I say is in that video that you don't put chemtrails on top of it. And I also say that if you're concerned about the way the skies look as a result of lingering contrails, right, put your efforts into lobbying the airports and the people who do air traffic control, or the airlines themselves, into flying outside of saturated areas, and we can actually remove that. And I do warn that the people that on the other side there, the people that are into the climate change, global warming conspiracy grift, I mean their own establishment grift, right? The propaganda, the UN 2030 propaganda, right? The stuff that they're trying to push around the world here to make sure they can gather up our resources and our money and everything else to control us. I say that they know, they're starting to realize through people talking about chemtrails that, of course, those are different things, right? But that they can create artificial cloud cover. And so when they think the sun is the problem, right? Or they think that, that you have to cool the earth because it's warming, they're going to lobby the other way. They're going to lobby to have planes fly through the saturated areas and give us more cloud cover, which I'm completely against. And I say, man, back in the day, what got me curious about these things is I noticed it too. And I didn't like the way it looked. I didn't like the way my clear, beautiful day was then disrupted by these lines of lingering clouds, right? And so I didn't know what it was either. And for a long time, I kind of like was suspicious about it and kind of was like buying into it a little bit. Maybe this is it. And I went down that rabbit hole. But you know what I found out? I found out that nobody in that rabbit hole had any answers or solutions, right? All they do is they would throw stuff out at you and say, this is what it is. This is what throw you pictures, right? And so I started looking into these pictures, and they weren't what they said they were. They were balance testers, right? Now they could never decide whether it was the jet fuel, or they were spraying it from the inside, or who was involved in it, and can they turn them on and off? Like all these questions are never answered by chemtrail grifters, never. And so I was like, well, I got to get to the bottom of this. I got to figure it out, because, and what are those guys doing about it besides posting pictures? They're not doing anything. They don't have any solutions. Now, at the end of the stream that I talk about debunking the chemtrail hoax grift forever, right? Here, I'll just throw that one out there too. I do discuss solutions. I actually say, if you don't like the way the skies are looking because of these lingering clouds, which is a real thing, right? But they're not chemical spraying us. Some people think they're actually spraying like barium and aluminum on us. It's not the case. But if you don't look into it, you don't challenge your ideas, you'll just go along believing that, right? And I think that's what it is. Well, why would they do that when they got Monsanto Roundup sprayed on everything and GMO food, to make us unhealthy? They're doing just fine without having to run $1 billion operation under our noses that, more than 2 people know about it. It's going to get out. And nobody can tell us where the airplanes are coming from, how they're doing it. They didn't know it. And not to mention that I had a relative flew in Korea and then flew United Airlines his entire career, right? A pilot, perfect record, right? The kind of guy you'd want to and flying you around the country. Just an amazing person. And they they said there's nothing like that going on. Like he would never be involved in anything like that. God rest his soul. He would never be involved in anything like that. So I know, I've had airline contact before in my life, and United Airlines is a huge airline, and this is a guy who from the time he got out of Korea till till he retired, flew airlines. So you think he would know about this stuff, right? So he didn't have any worries about that going on. So those are the kind of things that you can debunk when it comes to these grifts. And we just watched last night on Old School Watch Party Sunday. We watched a documentary, a Netflix documentary about the antisocial network, from memes to mayhems, 4chan, 8chan, 2chan, all these chans, right? These anonymous boards. And they literally spell out how they were, these things started out as memes that would blow up into conspiracies. Like, so they were literally trying to troll people into believing these things from these. And I said, that's a great place for COINTELPRO to operate out of too. If you want to discredit people that won't believe your establishment narrative anymore and vote for your crooked, criminal, corrupt politicians that are just going to run the country into the ground, then you just discredit them, right? You silence them and you discredit them. So that's the way it is. And I hope you enjoy these. Oh, you know what? You're over on Rumble. I'm not even putting these over here for you. Let me put this over there for you, and let me put this over here for you. I didn't even realize I was doing that. There we go. And here's the harp one. Just take a look at them. And I do check. And when I put these playlists out, I do check to see if people are actually watching them. Oops, I'm gonna do this twice. Because I want to see if the people that were hardcore about these grifts are actually willing to open their mind and take a listen to this stuff. And I don't say that you are, Andrea. I'm not saying that. I'm putting that there for anybody who else is listening. I think you're pretty based. So I totally love having you here and all that stuff. But yeah, this is the information, and it may be good to pass along if you're vibing with what I'm saying, and all that stuff. So yeah, please. Let's see, American military news. I'm going to save this, Ellie. Let's see. This is a news article. All right. So I'm going to save these on the tabs here. I see what you're doing, and it helps if these are in the Discord. But I can make you a channel too. I don't know if you're in my Discord or not, but I can make you a channel specifically for this. Okay, so developing future battlefields. Some of this stuff I think I've read before. Military news, awesome sources. Thank you. I do know that they're working with lasers to help, deal with drones and missiles, right? So I definitely believe. Yeah, see, it says right here, to combat enemy drones overseas. Yeah, I've seen documentaries on these before. I think they're pretty neat. So yeah, I mean, if that's what you mean by laser weapons, sure. I want my laser blaster like Star Wars. I want my Star Wars laser blaster. Yeah, thanks, man. Thank you, Underdite. Thank you so much for checking these out. And like I was talking with a group last Friday, and I kind of ran across the same thing, because like I said, whenever there's a hurricane, the talk of weather weapons come up, and people, I don't like information-based abuse, and I see people that can get sucked into these grifts, and I want to say something, and it's like I can come across not looking like I understand. Man, I understand. I've been there. That's why I have this information. I've been down these rabbit holes. I've believed in these things at one point in my life. It's a little embarrassing to say, but I realize that you have to, that these things are meant to kind of suck you in, right? But luckily, the way my brain works and the way that I work, I just can't settle on things, right? I'm like, okay, we got a problem. Is there a solution, right? And that drive to be a solution-oriented person keeps me from falling into these things for too long, if ever, right? At this point, no. But way back when I first came out of the first veil, and I was still spinning around in circles about what the hell's going on in this world, what is it? It gets really scary, right? And you're like, holy shit, everything I thought was real isn't real. And now I got to figure out what's real again, right? So it's really easy to start believing everything that's outside the establishment narrative. I just kept an open mind about it. And yeah, I would be like, okay, so I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt on this, right? And I'm gonna look at this stuff, and I'll watch it, and I'll be like, and then I'll take the information that you've given me, and I'll keep an eye on it for like a long time before, you'll never catch me kind of like, going full blown into it and then shutting my mind off, right? Even if I'm into it for a while, right? I'm still asking questions. I'm still looking for solutions. Well, how are we going to stop this then if we're being sprayed with all this stuff, right? I want it to stop. I don't want my precious little young one to be attacked in this way. If this would be warfare. This would be flat out warfare. This would be an attack. So if we're not doing anything about it, so we're just posting pictures and reposting old videos from 10 years ago that don't have any context or any kind of like real evidence or proof, and don't even elaborate or grow from that position they were in 10 years ago. What are we doing? What is this about? And so that's what drives me to go back and revet those belief systems and those ideas. And it's a humbling thing to do, and it's a brave thing to do. And I encourage everybody to do that. And just really think about it, man. There's people out there that wanted to mislead you, and it isn't just the establishment. They're like that, the 4chan stuff, the 8chan stuff, the Q stuff, all that stuff like that. That's all been blasted wide open. We know there are people out there intentionally trying to mislead us. Were they working for the government, or were they just, like, what's that saying say? When your enemy is making a mistake, don't stop them. Right. So like when that's happening, why wouldn't they just say like, oh yeah, let's drive this point home, and then parlay off the optics, right? And then get people to not want to leave our establishment media mind control system that we have so nicely set up, the subversion we have so nicely set up, that subverts generation after generation into becoming corrupted, useful idiots for the establishment, right? So believe me, I believe in conspiracies. I believe in the corruption that's going on in this world. Don't let that get past you. But there are a lot of people out there grifting off of it, and there are a lot of people out there that don't care about humanity and don't care about you, and are perfectly happy to mess you up. Perfectly happy. So, oh, Ellie, there's got another one for me. All right. You're gonna fill me up. Tabs here. I got you. I'm gonna make sure I got all of them. Let's make sure okay. Lots of tabs. Shelly, can you help get those links from Ellie? Because I'm gonna be really busy if I get all of them from the chat. Let's see. Hypersonic and directed energy weapons that has who's winning the race. Yeah. I definitely believe you, Ellie, that they have them. It's like, what are they using them for? So thank you for these. And I will definitely look and read into all of these. And thank you for the good sources, military sources. I know that you're in the military, right, Ellie? Is that right? Do I have that right? Yeah, directed energy weapons. Yeah, I totally believe it. They're using them. I know I'd seen them where they were using them against drones and missiles, right? Like incoming missiles, trying to do something with incoming missiles. I know they're very expensive, and that they're still kind of like, I don't know if they're active or what. So I'll read these. I know that they were in test phases at least, and mounted on ships at some point. I've seen videos of them doing tests on ships with directed energy weapons. And yeah, I totally believe in that. So you have no worries there. They're like 10 links. Okay, cool. Thanks, Ellie. I appreciate it. I love it when people bring me stuff to look at. I love it. So yeah, I'll check it out. So what do you think about those directed energy weapons? As you got a lot of information on them. What do you know about them? What does any of my military out there in the crowd know about them? We could talk about that. But right now, I'd like to show you something about the FEMA response. Let's see, we're at 33. Okay. 33. And we're not going to do all of this, and we're going to do it at winning speed. So there we go. Make sure the volume's up. Make sure you guys can hear this. All right. Let's see. Let me know if you can't hear it. Let's put it that way. I had to redo some settings here, and I just want to make sure that you guys get this. There we go. So some stuff about the FEMA, about the hurricane stuff that's going on. I love this clip right here. It's circulating. You've probably seen it, but I want to share it with you and talk about it.
The Biden-Harris administration continues to face backlash over them directing FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, to spend all of their resources
what's
and
up?
money
Count
over the last
Turpula, what's
4
up, man?
years
How you doing?
on illegal aliens. And so
There
they
he is.
don't have the
Popcorn.
money or the resources or really the care to help Americans on the East Coast, particularly in North Carolina, in the wake of Hurricane Helene. Here is the little gnome, Karine Jean-Pierre, caught in yet another lie, thanks to the power
They
of
hate it when we do
video
this.
on the internet.
They hate.
It's just categorically false. No, Biden did not take FEMA relief money to use on migrants.
Well, that's the story today, but just a couple years ago, they were very proud of their diversity efforts.
So FEMA regional administrators have been meeting with city officials on site to coordinate available federal support from FEMA and other federal agencies. Funding is also available through FEMA's emergency food and shelter program to eligible local governments and non-for-profit organizations upon request to support humanitarian relief for migrants.
For the illegal aliens, for the criminal.
Yep. I tell you what, and when people are reeling from it, and especially people that were are probably posed to vote for Kamala and the establishment and to bend the knee, right? But they're also impacted by the the devastation of the hurricane. In some way, they're feeling empathy for the people there. They're even involved and maybe trying to send money or send food or something like that. And you show them this, it's a moment of clarity that it can be very effective in understanding that they're totally being lied to, and they're totally being subverted by their own team. And that can really, really shake somebody out of a deep, deep slumber.
Invaders, the tens of millions of them. Stay tuned, because before we come to this video, though, real quick, subscribe to my channel if you're new here, because you're not going to get independent analysis and information like this anywhere else. And here is the diversity high.
All right, so here we go. There's been a lot of talk about how they're using. I mean, what does diversity have to do with federal emergency management? This is so stupid. Another moment to wake people up, as in, why are you talking about this when there's 200 plus people that have been they're deceased, and these people have lost everything? Why are you talking about more diversity? Just wearing people out with it. That's another way to get through people that they're like, I'm so tired of hearing about this, right? Why aren't they doing, especially independence? And this right here will get to independence for sure.
Higher head of FEMA. While surprisingly not a minority, the Biden administration was very proud that she's the first woman to head the organization, denouncing people criticizing them, saying that it's dangerous.
What kind of impact has this had on the recovery effort?
It has a tremendous impact on the comfort level of our own employees to be able to go out there, but it's also demoralizing to all of the first responders that have been out there in their communities helping people, FEMA staff, volunteers, the private sector that are working side by side with local officials to go out and help people. I need to make sure I can get the resources to where they're needed. And when you have this dangerous rhetoric like you're hearing, it creates fear in our own employees. And we need to make sure we're getting help to the people who need it.
And here she is proudly proclaiming that under the Biden-Harris administration, FEMA has a new directive.
What are you and FEMA doing to prioritize equity when it comes to disaster recovery?
Equity, of course, an Orwellian buzzword, meaning to give non-white people, non-heterosexual people, non-Christian people more stuff, more resources, more rights, more of everything.
This is something that I think about every day, and this was one of my priorities when I first came into the agency to serve in this role as FEMA administrator. I took the time to reflect as I was going through the nomination process about what are the areas that I really wanted to focus on when I came to FEMA in this role.
Not educating people about having a bug-out bag or having the emergency supplies based off of their region in order to hopefully ease the pain of a natural disaster or a power outage or some kind of an unfortunate mass event. No, her focus is on equity. Her focus is on helping non-white people and non-American people. I mean, what's next? Are they going to place top priority on illegal alien transgender migrants in order to hopefully prevent people from using the wrong pronouns when referring to them? Oh, wait, what's this? Well, it's a FEMA director named Riley Hurst.
As Leo mentioned, there were those conversations, not only with migrant trans women. Being a migrant trans woman, there is an undocumented concern. There is also a concern of whether they would.
What are we living in? I swear to God, moments like this get to me, man. I'm just like, I'm just telling you what just popped in my head when I saw this. I'm like, what world are we living in, man? This is like some weird, surreal, just tangent reality. I'm supposed to take this person seriously and listen to what they're saying.
Trust the places that are offering shelter that are faith-based because of the way they've been responded to in the past. Then if they are accepted, what would happen in terms of misgendering, in terms of bedrooms and bathrooms?
Oh my gosh, not misgendering during a crisis. Oh no.
Bathrooms, etc.
Okay, a few years ago, well, actually many years ago at this point, 10 years ago, even under the Obama administration, this would have been considered a parody. This would have been, Saturday Night Live hasn't been funny for 30 years. This would have been a funny skit from some YouTube comedians. But unfortunately, this is our reality.
Sparked a few things in my mind thinking about preparing.
You're seeing a lot of people that are in charge of FEMA right now. And what's with the sign language people, man? I mean, did people not know how to use this closed caption? This is called the closed caption. All you got to do is click on it, and it makes words come across the screen. So what's up with, do they have some kind of like deal with the sign language union or something? I don't know.
And how you said, LGBTQIA people and people who have been disadvantaged already are struggling. They already have their own things to deal with. So you add a disaster on top of that. It's just compounding on itself. And I think that is maybe the why of why we're having these discussions. Because
Can someone explain to me how you get a he and a they? I mean, I don't get how these things work. It's so stupid.
Isn't being talked about. It isn't being socialized. We're not paying attention to this community.
The first thing that comes to their mind when there's
Lucifer,
a hurricane
what's up,
is,
my friend?
what about the LGBTQ people? And speaking of the rainbow people, Lindsey Graham was on Sean Hannity's show a few days ago, as usual, talking about how FEMA has fumbled the response to Hurricane Helene, but he couldn't stop thinking about Israel.
You know, I've been going all over South Carolina like most people haven't slept much. But look what's going on in Israel. Our friends in Israel surrounded by people that want to kill them, destroy them. A second Holocaust.
Way to pivot off the narrative there, Lindsay.
Cost in the making.
It goes without saying that Israel's Mossad, which is their version of the CIA, which actually makes the CIA look like a bunch of amateurs in comparison, have some extensive knowledge of Lindsey Graham's personal life. And not the obvious personal life that he just can't admit, but Diddy tape style, Epstein style stuff. At this point, they probably don't even need to show FEMA's website showing their #1 goal is...
Yeah, I was going to go over this with you guys actually at some point. It's been done enough, but you can go to FEMA's website and look at their goals, like 1, 2, and 3. I think I actually had them saved over there on X. But look at this. My goal 1, instill equity as a foundation of emergency management. Yeah, this is called getting in between people, right? And causing division, right? This is a part of that. I think we're gonna more about tonight. More in this book tonight. We're gonna read more about the cultural Marxist strategy, right? How they do this stuff, the ideological subversion we've been talking about since day one here, that is all around us, and we were born into this unfortunate system that we have to dismantle the system of ideological subversion, that we have to create root cause solutions to. And right here, I mean, dude, we're supposed to be talking about emergency management, but they're talking about instilling equity as a foundation. That is not an American way of looking at things or running things, right? Not at all. Not at all. See, Tatum just put out something out tonight about JP storming out. Trump is speaking in Miami, and I'll be listening, and hopefully I won't doze off. Okay. JP, John Pierre storming out. She storms out a lot. I had a great meme on my channel with her and that orange outfit next to Jim Carrey from Dumb and Dumber wearing an orange outfit. And it's the guy asked which one worked better, and I said Ty Goes to the Runner. But yeah, and by the way, tomorrow night 7:30 special time, 7:30 Eastern special time, we will be covering a very special event. I just saw it today. I wanted to make sure you guys know about it. It's going to be the Make America Healthy Again event with RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, Donald Trump, and others. So we'll be covering that live tomorrow night. I hope you guys will be here for that. Oh, it's going to be a good old time. I love the food and water safety topics. We've needed it and medication practice, medical safety. They're attacking the this health crisis that we have, this epidemic of chronic illness, as JFK would say. I mean, so RFK would say. So yeah, and this reminded me of that. So make sure that we're going to be here for that. I don't know why it did, but it did. Emergencies affect everyone equally. That's absolutely right, Wolfram. Absolutely right.
Instilling equity as the foundation of emergency management, since, well, we heard it right out of the horse's mouth, the diversity hire director. Here's the director of the Department of Homeland Security, which works hand in hand with FEMA, Alejandro Mayorkas, admitting last year that they're wasting our tax dollars on the migrants. And then just a few days ago, admitting that they don't have the money for Americans.
FEMA is going to be playing a pivotal role in our shelter and services program that is poised to distribute $363 million to cities and communities in need of funding.
To the illegal aliens, to pay literally for them to just come here and stay in room and board, in healthcare and education and everything else.
We do not have the funds. FEMA does not have the funds to make it through the season.
Oh, well, what a surprise. Just to put things into perspective of how much of our tax dollars are being wasted in order to give the illegal aliens room and board once they break into our country, New York City alone is paying $300 a night, night after night, week after week, month after month, year after year, to house the criminal invaders in high-end 4-star hotels in Manhattan. The city of New York has budgeted $1.4 billion in order to do this. And they're not putting them up in some podunk hotel, some little Motel 6
the good stuff.
out in some ghetto in one of the other boroughs. No disrespect if you live in that area. This is in Manhattan, the jewel of New York. And in order to try to rehabilitate her image and give her a big boost in the final several weeks before the election, she is going on some big podcasts and some big shows this week, including the Call Her Daddy podcast, which is hosted by some floozy who's literally getting paid $20 million a year by Spotify. And here's a description from one of her shows, which I can't even read.
Welcome to Slut Camp.
You just have to read this for yourself and just pause.
I
the video
said
and
it.
read that,
I'll say
because
it.
It would just be an endless stream of bleeps.
Oh my God. Go listen to this week's episode and graduate from, that Slut Camp and that.
This
Oh my
is
God.
the show that Kamala Harris is going on in order to reach, well, the Democrat Party's core voter base, single women. This after seeing Donald Trump do some pretty big podcasts and
I
sit
didn't
down
read the
with some
top
popular
part. I
live
just caught
streamers
that at
as
the
well, like Theo Vaughn, some clown named Aiden Ross, who is like one of the biggest live streamers in the world, who I still can't figure out why anybody would actually tune into a show or what sort of talent he has. But he has a big audience because there are a lot of morons out there. And so Donald Trump sat down with him trying to reach the masses. There's one big podcast, however, that he surprisingly hasn't appeared on because, well, in case you didn't know, Joe
All right, hold
Rogan doesn't.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna pivot off this because we're running out of time on this show. The rest of it's just something about Joe Rogan that I don't think is pertinent to what's going on in that particular vein of discussion. But I do want to jump over here because I did put in the title Rig Watch, right? Rig Watch. And I don't think I'm going to get to most of what I wanted to say about that. But I do want to show you a couple things while we still have some time, the next 15 minutes before we jump over to Rumble and X exclusively to start reading our book. And that is part 1 of chapters 7 through 9 of part 1, Wild Bill Donovan, The Bolsheviks, J.Go Hoover, of Big Intel, the book Big Intel by J. Michael Waller. Awesome book. If you're here, you already know about it. If you're new, please stick around and listen to some of this book with us. I guarantee it's going to suck you in. Like, you're going to want to be like, I want to listen to all of this book when you start to hear it, especially if you're based, you're open-minded, and you're in the fight ready to win. You're part of the anti-establishment. You're against this corruption in the world. And you're against the monster at the gate, which is known as Agenda 2030, the one coming for us all in short period of time. So we have to get our country back in order to stop that monster. That's what this is all about. All right, so let me just show you this real quick. Yeah, let me just do it this way. I'm going to jump over here, and I want to show you off my the front page something that I got on my phone today. Well, actually, 2 days ago. Right. And I did cut off. So yeah, I did leave the phone number it came from up there. So if you want to call them and give them a hard time, I can't stop you. All right. So here it is. Yes, you're reading this correctly. Let me get down here in the corner. Hey, we're looking for voting ambassadors to talk to their friends about Kamala Harris and Tim Walz with an up to $400 stipend. It's completely remote. Want to join? Holy shit. A bribe through text messages to give a bribe. This is a campaign. The reason it showed up in text messages is it's run off a list. So it's one of a list that's run through a campaign to send this message to people, right? And then they have a response to it. And if you respond to it, it's going to put you into a different segment, which will then push out more content to you and probably send you a link to where you're going to go and sign up. And they'll have even more information about you. And then you're going to, I guess, have to follow instruction carefully to get your $400 stipend. They're literally giving out. So why they're only giving $750 to victims of the hurricane. They're willing to give out $400 to people who will just talk to their neighbors and friends about Kamala and Tim. Yeah, right? Right? I know. Heidi says BS. FEMA is broke. All they have to do is reallocate those funds from supporting illegals to hurricane survivors. It's very simple, but they won't do it, will they? They won't do it. They want things to be bad. See what I'm saying? Like, you don't need to have some kind of concerted effort. They never let a crisis go to waste. You don't have to have some kind of like devious, look at this right over here. What's trending over here? HARP. I predicted this, guys. I told you this was going to happen. And before the hurricane even got here, before there's any proof that what it was going to turn into or where it was going to land, I was like, this is coming. But anyways, yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that. That's real life right there. That's happening. And unfortunately, look at this. The sad part is I just the reach on it is just. I mean, how I got like I've gotten more people now. I've gotten 657 followers. Only 16 people have seen this. Pass this around. Rig Watch is on. I need you guys' help. If you're out there on X, please share it out. And Rig Watch is on. It ain't about me getting clicks and views and hearts or whatever. It's about getting people aware of this that's going on, so they talk about it. Maybe somebody that's bigger and has more reach will pick up on it, right? Maybe they'll pick up on it and they'll let people know this is another way that are trying to rig it. It's another way, another day in the routine. All right. Let me see. More Rig Watch. I wanted to show you this. This is from 2 weeks ago, but I just want to show you, like, in schools. This has to do perfectly with what we're talking about in terms of ideological subversion, cultural Marxism, and Rig Watch. It's like all three mixed into one. So this could be our grand finale, the kickoff show right here. I do want to read your chats though before we jump over. So let's see. They are doing to the NC what they did to Maui, telling the government is how are they going to grab the land though? You think they're going to grab the land? I've heard the land grab thing before. What do you mean grab the land? How are they going to grab it? What are they going to do with it? I think the more impressive, the thing that's going on there is like people have lost their lives and tons have been destroyed. We need to use the money to give to them to rebuild their communities, right? And I hope that the states are working hard on that as well, with state funding and whatever means they need, right? And then there's a lot of charity rolling in from a lot of generous people that are helping out as well. We'll keep an eye on the land grab thing. We won't know until it happens, but we'll keep an eye on it and we'll see how everybody comes out of this. It's okay to have, like, I have my theories about things too. So let me see here. All right. Gotta speed this up. Kamala Harris Day at an elementary school. And listen to this father confront this teacher. Right. Yeah. All right, here we go.
Week.
I wouldn't want another child coming in wearing a peach t-shirt. Does that make sense?
Okay, but you guys are having a Kamala Harris Day.
Yes, and it's an honor of Black History Spirit Week for Black History.
Okay, but you're making it political. Like,
and this is supposed to be Black History Month too, at the same time, when there's no evidence that she's Black, except for that she said so.
It's not Black history. You're making a political statement.
I'm not sure how I'm making a political statement.
She is not sure how she's making a political statement. You're going to find this teacher is full of shit. Like, absolutely full of shit. Like, listen to this.
On Harris Day, she's the current vice president of the United States.
Yes, and I myself did not make the week up and have a further conversation if you feel it is inappropriate for us to have that. I'm not stating that I agree or disagree with you. Just be mindful of that. I'm just doing what I have to do in my position and in my job.
Okay, so are you the one making this decision?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, then, I guess I'll make my own ultimatum.
Okay.
Either something up like we have to do, or these are the kind of clothes that they're going to be wearing to school every day for the rest of the school.
Okay, and like I stated, I talked to mom. Mom was very understanding, and she told me that she understood why they could not wear something like that in school. And we don't actually have anyone wearing a Kamala Harris shirt today or anything of that nature. They're wearing just pearls if they choose to.
Just pearls if they choose to. That's her sorority signal. That's from AKA her sorority. And look at this. This is during Black History Month. They found it very convenient to make a Kamala Harris Day, even though she ain't Black.
So for it to be something that's completely against what we're doing at the school, I understand the viewpoint. But as far as bringing that negativity into the schoolhouse, I can't have.
There's nothing negative.
Bringing that negativity. So if they were to wear a Trump shirt, that's her saying they're bringing a negativity in there. But lying heels up Kamala Harris, right on Grift Day here, that's perfectly fine. And this isn't political at all. Is this lady is she bought in, sold out, or is she just completely mind controlled?
You just don't like the message.
And I'm not saying that I don't. I'm not saying I cannot.
You're the one making the decision.
Okay, I'm making the decision based on the dress code that's in our code of conduct book.
You could
how convenient. Who that's it for that. How convenient. How convenient. Does she talk anymore? Okay, yeah. I'll let this guy talk a little bit. But how convenient. Their dress code makes it okay for you to wear pearls to represent Kamala Harris to school on a she wishes she was Black Day during Black History Month or whatever this is. Some kind of appreciation day or week or whatever. It's convenient that this is happening, right? To indoctrinate children into this belief system, right? It's convenient. And then they make it so that you can't wear a former president or current presidential candidates but if you go to wear a red hat, or something like that, they say they can't bring that kind of hate into the school. Like, who's making a decision about what the hate is? Like the guy said in the video, because you just don't like the message. There's nothing hateful about it.
Tell she was lying when she tried to look puzzled about Kamala Harris Day being a political message. But I don't think I've seen anything more inappropriate at an elementary school other than books with corn in it. Just replace corn with a P. YouTube doesn't like that word. And the nerve for her to complain about this father's kids wearing Trump merch. At least that's what I'm assuming from this video. And I'm astounded at how miserable this woman is. And she is married. I feel bad for the guy or girl. Probably a girl, let's be honest. Let's be honest. Anyways, I will now be patiently waiting for Donald Trump Day in honor of all the strong white men that have built this country.
Okay, there you go. Well, they're never going to have it. They're never going to have it. So yeah, there you have. Okay, so the land grab thing. Let's see. So we got some land grab talk going on. We'll keep going if we have a good conversation here. I'm totally up for keeping going on that. The government seizes land. It says it's uninhabitable. Okay, so let me see. Let me back up. Make sure I got your entire thing in context. Okay, so you're saying that, and I understand this part. I'm just making sure I got it correct. You're saying that they're going to use the crisis to do a land grab? Or are you saying that they created the crisis to do a land grab? I have to be clear on that before I know how to answer. But no, I've heard this before. Yeah, it was this imminent no name note. Heidi says, yes, Elephant. I heard reports that people are being approached and pressured to sell their land up in North Carolina. I would say this as a the reports come in, the actual residents there. Yeah. I would say that this is a never let a crisis go to waste moment. However, I don't think that they necessarily created I'm not going to say it. No, actually, I do not think they created the crisis. I think the crisis was a natural disaster. And I think that's where it gets conflated. So if you want to focus on the fact that the government's using crises to seize land, I think that's a good stance right there by itself. I don't think you need anything more than that to make the point and to have people push back on it. I think it's a good thing to push back on that. And we need to be there for the people who are in crisis so that they don't feel pressured to sell their land off. Don't sell your land off. We'll help you out. We'll be there for you. I don't know how we can do that. But that's a good point. That's a good point. So I'm pretty sure we're probably on the same page here. Let's see. Memento Mori, correct. They did it in a town not far from me, and they're still there's still buildings in the water. So yeah, talk about the flood. They did this in flood-prone areas. Yeah, they would never let a crisis go to waste. Oh man, I showed you the 30 by 30 thing from Joe Biden. I know I showed you guys that. That just came out of well, they've already been doing it. It's Agenda 2030 again, back right there, and they are talking about how they want to own 30% of they want to own by 30% or more of the land, seize 30% or more of the lands. That's a WEF plan right there, right? And then like you said, floods, tornadoes, natural disasters, all these things happen, right? And I guarantee you, if we get rid of everything, all the corruption and all the bad people, right? If we were able to just snap our fingers and get rid of them, we'd still have natural disasters. And people would still lose homes and get flooded and all that. It still would happen. But I think that it's a good point to point out that they do want to come after these people that are in crisis, and in a moment of crisis, use it to grab their land. Now, I think that making that clear without having to get into the idea of whether they use some kind of technology to create a storm or steer it or do whatever. I mean, that's like I said, like if that was the case, that should be going off everywhere, right? I don't know. But here I tell you what, one surefire way to find out, even if that's where your belief is right now, anybody out there, one surefire way to find out is to elect Donald Trump. Elect him. Let's elect them. Let's drain the swamp. Let's get good people in these positions, and they can pull out all the details for us. That's what I've always said too. If we'll get to the bottom of things once the corruption's cleared out. What's standing in the way of the truth about what's going on in us is the corruption that's out there. So we have to do the work to get the corruption out of the way, or we're never going to know. And we're never going to figure out the truth if we don't get these people that are covering it up out of the way. Right? If we don't get them out of the way, we're never going to know. So that's one thing we have to do. Take that first step, right? And then boom. What do you want to know? Let's do freedom of information requests. Let's write to congressmen, write to the president himself. Get out there, ask questions, start a movement, right? Free of fear, to get the particular things you think are important out there in the open. And I think that's what we need to do. I think right now a lot of people are scared to take those initiatives because they don't want blowback from the establishment, or they're useful idiots. Let's see. Let me catch up here. Report some pressure. They did it to a town over for me. Actually, it was around a little girl's body they found this year. It was oops. Okay, so with that, that preferential government treatment is the second reason I chose flag. Okay, that's the second reason. I know what the first one is probably. Let's see. Okay, they did it here in Indiana a few years ago. Some of the land they stole had been family land for over a century. Man, that's horrible. That's horrible. Maybe they can get it back. I like to think that once we undo the corruption, we can start undoing some of the results too. They would give it back, but it's going to take awareness, right? Remember, awareness, research, consideration, decision. That's the way you have to approach the government as well when you want something done. Bring awareness, show them the research, ask them to consider these things, whatever you put on the table, so they can make a decision and have solutions on the table, right? That's what you can put your energy into. If you're passionate about it, you're motivated about it. Like I'm motivated about the things I talk to you guys about on this channel, right? I'm motivated enough to do this stream night after night and come up with content and do all the things I've had to do to get this far, right? That's my motivation behind my passion pushing it. And I encourage each and every one of you guys, you base awesome, smart people out there, to get behind a cause that you really believe in and make a difference, right? Really make a difference and know that I got your back and everybody here's got your back. We'll be part of it. We'll help you, Ellie, if that's something you're passionate about, I think that you would be awesome at raising awareness about it, coming up with solutions for it, putting the research together for it, and pushing it up the ladder. That's what we need. We need people that have passion like you and others out here to do things that need to get done. You see a need, fill it, and there's plenty of other opportunities for other people in education and so on. So there's going to be things that I'm going to be trying to direct my energy towards too after but we have to get through November. We have to get through and elect Donald Trump, man. Damn it. We got to do it. Have those uncomfortable conversations. Remember to check your voter registration. You're going to hear this from everybody. I sound like a broken record, but just do it. And have those uncomfortable conversations now, because we might not have a chance to have them later. Now the third reason. What's the third reason? Yeah, you know what? Yep. And now there's a third reason. Yeah, no, yeah, it would be nice. There you go. You can jump higher and run faster. Wink, wink. They need more land to build a camel toes. 15 million homes. Yeah, right. Wear that Trump gear everywhere. That's right, David. That's right. We're coming your way really fast, guys. I did pin it in the comments, right? It's time to get out of here. I'll be back tomorrow night for Winning 2024. We're going to open the show with the Make America Healthy Again town hall with RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, Donald Trump, and others. It's going to be a great time. Get here early. We're going to hang out beforehand. I'll have more stuff to talk to you about then. Ellie, thank you so much for all the links you sent and the awesome conversations over here on the kickoff show. You made it happen tonight. Thank you so much. We're going to now jump over, and I'll have even more topics after the town hall as well. So we're going to jump over to Rumble and X. I will see you guys over there. Follow the links in the chat. Follow the links in the description. Meet us over there. Tell me hello. Tell us hello when you get there. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up on the way out the door here if you haven't yet. Zach, come on over and listen to this book with us, man. If you're over on Rumble, come over and listen. If If not, we're on X too. I think you'll really dig this book, man. I'm really just trying to get people to yes. I think he's talking over the Dave. Okay. Yeah, come over and check it out. Dude, this book is so awesome. It really is. Okay, I've said enough about it. Let's get out of here. Until tomorrow night, YouTube. I'll be back at 8 p.m. Eastern. Until tomorrow night, YouTube. See ya.
Everyone's 10 step for a rumble.